The Tuhfat al-Ahrar, this copy of al-Rahman Jami, copied in 1650 to 70 in Bukhara, was among 400 Arabic manuscripts that ended up in the Imperial Public Library between 1827-29 after the Russian-Persian and Russian-Turkish Wars. The manuscript belongs to the so-called Ardabil collection, and there's a seal of Ardabil Waqf. This inscription is Waqf, a record of the transfer of this manuscript to the tomb of Sheikh Saifuddin, who was the ancestor of founders of Safavid dynasty. He was a Sufi, highly revered. To his tomb in Ardabil was also a revered Azhar, and naturally his descendants, the rulers of Iran from the Safavid dynasty, took great care to decorate this place. Beautiful buildings were built there. There was a building called Chinnekhana, that is, buildings where porcelain works, vases, and various other vessels, in particular, also brought from China made in Iran, were kept. Manuscripts were also kept there. At the beginning of the manuscripts there is a small prose preface saying that the author wrote this poem in imitation to Nizami and Amir Khosraw Dehlavi, followed by a poetic text which was always written in columns in Arabic manuscripts.
Поэма эта была написана Абдурахманом Джами.
This poem was written by al-Rahman Jami in 1481-82. Both in form and in content, it is an imitation of Nizami's famous poem, Treasury of Secrets. But Nizami was more of a philosopher, and Jami was a well-known Sufi mystic, so the Sufi nature of the text is clearly expressed here.
Поэтому суфийский характер текста здесь очень ярко выражен.
The manuscript is beautifully designed in a calligraphic Nastaliq script and with 3 miniatures. There are sections in which the author touches on the main provisions of Islam, Sufism, and universal wisdom. For example, instructions to people of different ages, the elderly not to behave like young people, and all these arguments are accompanied by stories, parables. One of the illustrated, the parable of the beautiful Yusuf, the biblical Joseph, who received a mirror as a gift from a wanderer from Canaan. The plot of another miniature was based on the Indian fables about animals. The binding style is typical for the late 16th century. It is recognizable. An influence of the Herat school is obvious.